Hi guys, welcome back to Genius in All Subjects. Now on today's video, we are going to learn on how to balance redox reaction. Okay, so before we balance redox reaction, the one you are seeing right here, let's understand the term redox reaction. What is redox reaction? Redox reaction is a reaction that has to do with oxidation and what? Reduction. Now, one thing you need to understand about redox reaction, it is the combination of reducing agent and what? Oxidizing agent. That's exactly the reason why it is called redox reaction. So let's go forward to what? To balance this equation. Now I'm going to teach you how to balance this equation in just 2 seconds. So stick with me while we balance this. Now one thing you need to understand is this. In the aspect of redox reaction, the reaction with the oxygen is oxidized if there's oxygen there, because oxygen oxidizes what? Oxidizes an element. So in this case, oxygen has oxidized chromium. Now, if there is no oxygen, another element that could oxidize is what? Is something like chlorine. And then being this chlorine is here, it would oxidize what? Chromium. So chlorine can also oxidize. It's also an oxidizing agent. Oxygen as an oxidizing agent. Fluorine is also what? An oxidizing agent. So that is the way to what? Quickly identify that a particular compound or a particular element is oxidized. So this particular element here is oxidized. Okay, and mind you, if it is oxidized here, then it should be what? Reduced here. So take note of that. So if at the right hand side, or maybe at the left hand side rather, it's oxidized, then coming to the right hand side, it should be what? Reduced. So in this case, chlorine is what? Since chromium is oxidized, that means chlorine is what? Reduced. And coming to this side, chromium is oxidized. But if you don't know how to identify all of this, this is how you will know if a particular element is oxidized or not. Trying to find the oxidation number is the most important thing that could happen to that element, or that will help you in identifying if the element is oxidized or not. So let's find the oxidation number of chromium here. Listen and follow me strictly. So understanding this concept, you know how to do it quickly without going through the steps or procedures. Now first, you're going to say that chromium plus what? Let's find the oxidation number first. Chromium plus oxygen is -2 times what? Times 7, but not because of this -2. The oxidation number of oxygen is -2. Everything is equals to this -2 here, which is the ion. I'm following the ionic method of identifying it. So in this case, chromium plus -2 times 7, that's -14. So what's to -2? And then chromium in this case is -2. -14 comes to this side, comes plus 14. And at the end, our chromium is what? Is 12. So this is how to find is a positive 12. So this is how to find what? The oxidation number. Now that we have known that our chromium is positive 12, in that case, we have known that chromium is what? It's oxidized. It's what? It is oxidized in this case. Therefore, we'll say chromium is what? Plus 12 here. Okay, we have found out the oxidation number of what? Chromium. And here, mainly looking at chromium here, it is what? Plus 3, since it does not have any oxygen or maybe chlorine attached to it. So you don't need to worry to find the oxidation number. This is the oxidation number here. So chromium here is plus 3. So looking at from plus 12 to plus 3, that means it was what? It was reduced. It was what? Reduced. It was reduced. Now how many does it reduce by? It reduced by what? By adding what? How many electrons? Now if you look at 12 minus 3 is what? So how many electrons was added? About 9 electrons was added to it. That was what made it to what? To reduce. So I believe you are getting it now. Now the next thing is this one. We have gotten for chromium that chromium was oxidized here and was later what reduced here. So it is reduced to what? To the product side. Now in that case, this one is what? It is reduced here, then it is now what? Oxidized here. Many looking at it is -1, right? So it has what? -1 here. So was later what? Oxidized. Now, how many does it oxidize by? For you to oxidize, you must what? You must remove electron. So removal of electron would enable that particular thing to what? To be oxidized. So we removed what? Just how many electron was reduced? Because here we have a +2. So how many electron was reduced? Many looking at this. No, sorry, we have not a +2. We have a +1 here. Okay, so that means how many electron was reduced? Here we have -1. Then coming to this place, we have +1 because there should be plus here. Since there is nothing there, you know that there's what? A +1. So here we have +1. So how many electron was removed in order to what? In order for it to be what? Oxidized. The removal of electron can help in what? In the oxidation of that particular thing or that particular element. So in this case, from -1 to what? To +1. How many electrons was removed? Now, mainly looking at it, 2 electrons was what? Removed. 2 electrons was removed. Right? 2 electrons was removed. So the removal of 2 electrons was what aid to what? To this oxidation. Okay, now that I've gotten all of this, let us now finish up our balancing of what? Of equation. Now, I do tell you guys that whenever you observe certain things in physics and chemistry, then you should what? You should be able to know how to fix the problems. Now, looking at the reduction of this chromium, the reduction of chromium could help to fix the problem of what? The problem of what? Chlorine. So since chromium was reduced by just addition of what? 9 electron. Then this 9 we have here, we're going to write it here. So that particular reduction, that thing that 8 in the reduction, or the number that chromium was reduced by, or that particular reduction of chromium should what? Should be placed in front of what? In front of chlorine. So you know that chromium was reduced by 9. Was what? Reduced by what? The addition of 9 electrons. So you write 9 here. Now coming to what? Chlorine. Chlorine was what? Was oxidized by what? By 2. So you write 2 here. And you write 2 here. So you have what? Balanced what? The equation. But remaining one thing. We need to balance the oxygen here. We need to balance the oxygen. And then balance what? The oxygen. Now how do we balance the oxygen? Try and add what? For us to balance the oxygen, we add water here. We add what? We add water. When you add water here, then you come to this side, to your right hand side, you add what? You add hydrogen. Follow my steps. Now, once you have added water to your right hand side, to the product side, and then hydrogen to the what? To the reactant side, then the next thing that you are going to do is to balance them. How many oxygens do we have here? We have about 14 oxygens. How many oxygens do we have here? Just look at the oxygens alone. We have just 1 oxygen. Now the best thing is trying to make this what? Oxygen 14. How do we make this particular oxygen at the end here? Let me make you guys see it very well. How do we make this particular oxygen at the end here? Because we added water here. So how do we make this particular oxygen 14? We'll just by adding what? 14. So you add 14 to the hydrogen. So the oxygen becomes what? 14 automatically. So what do we do to this hydrogen? Hydrogen here is 28. Hydrogen here is what? 28. Because 2 times 14 is what? 28. Then we kindly write what? 28 here. So this is how to balance what? A redox reaction. Balanced. So I believe this method is better. But the only thing that made it long, because I want to make sure I explain each and everything here. So balancing redox reaction without what following the long procedures on your textbook. This is how to balance what redox reaction. Thank you very much for watching. So do well to share to your learned colleagues, and make sure you will subscribe to this YouTube channel, and please follow my Facebook page at Genius in All Subjects. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you.